What is going on? I think we're live. Welcome. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the struggle. You ever been completely driven by stress? You can't sleep, you can't eat. You feel like you got a lot of adrenaline. Feel wicked motivated, but really kind of lost for what you can do. All driven by stress. You see the grays. Anyways, welcome. We're going to talk about inflation. I got another question for you too about McDonald's and how these signs I see at McDonald's don't make sense. But before any of that, if you like being brought news, entertainment, comedy, live stream 5 days a week, every weekday, and you like just being able to have a conversation about things happening around us in the culture, in our society, hit that subscribe button and then hit the notification bell, because like last night I went live late at night. Today I'm going live in the afternoon. Tomorrow I might go live in the morning. I can only give my word that I go live 5 days a week, every weekday, sometimes twice a day, sometimes on the weekend, but my word is I go live every weekday, bringing you some kind of news. Like today, this news about the inflation percentages and how much they've risen. The math ain't mathing. It ain't adding up, okay? I think that we're being lied to. What? No. We trust the corporations that are rising the prices to tell us the genuine numbers of how much those prices have risen. But yeah, if you appreciate this dialogue, these conversations, please hit that subscribe button, because I'm live every weekday, and that's why I ask you to hit the notification bell, so that way when I do go live, you'll get notified. We can have a conversation, leave a comment, hit the like button. If you disagree with me and you totally trust CNBC and these other outlets that print these math numbers, these percentages, if you trust them, let me know in the comments. Tell me. And tell me why you trust them. I think it's interesting that while they talk about the inflation numbers, they also talk about how it hurt the stocks. So I think there's some, I just think it's suspect that why would they want to give us the true numbers if they know that kind of report, that inflation's way higher than they're claiming, would make their stocks tumble. These are publicly traded companies. They don't want to hurt their own price. They don't want their CEOs to lose value in their compensation packages. So I just think they're bold-faced lying to us. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Thank you. And for all the people who have subscribed, we keep getting new subscribers every single day. Thank you so much. It's hard to put into words how much that means to me to see people joining the family in solidarity, getting in the comments, leaving likes, subscribing, and just having a dialogue. It's been a very difficult time for my family. And seeing these new subscribers joining in, I'm very grateful for you. So thank you so much to those who have subscribed. It means the world to me. Now, before we get into the inflation talk. Oh, and by the way, I'll almost always link in the description the article we're talking about. So if you want to play along at home, or you just want to read it later, you want to see where I'm getting this information from, I put the, I believe it's a CNBC article in the description. So you can click on that link and read this article. Read it for yourself. Don't just take my word for it. Go into this article and look at these percentage numbers, and you tell me how it all maths out. It doesn't add up. It just does not add up. I think we're being lied to. No, I feel like we're being lied to. I know we're being lied to. Especially when, if these inflation numbers, if these percentages were as high as they should be, these stocks are going to tumble way more than they did from these low numbers they're reporting. You just can't trust them. You just can't. And that's the basis of this live stream. We got to question everything. Like Tupac said, even the genius asks questions. And that's what we're doing. That's all we're doing here. But before we get, again, now that you know where the article is, before we get into that, I drive by McDonald's, right? Because America's just littered with them. Amber waves of grain. It should be golden arches aplenty. Because this is what kind of bugs me about anywhere you go in America. No matter where you go in America, there's a Target, a Walmart, a McDonald's, a Walgreens, a CVS, and then depending on what kind of coffee shops they offer, fast food restaurants. Jack in the Box out west, Dunkin' Donuts out east, Whataburger in the middle, In-N-Out, and it's just, our country's littered with this junk. It doesn't have the character of a Europe or something like that, and it sucks. So I drive by these McDonald's, and I keep seeing on the sign at McDonald's, it says $1 for any size coffee. And it keeps bugging me, because I'm like, who the F sees that and is like, oh, awesome, when I need a small coffee, I'm gonna go pay $1. Like, if you're getting a large, extra large coffee, makes sense. Would anybody in their right mind that buys, I don't buy small coffees, I don't buy coffee, but if you were, like, if I'm drinking coffee, I want the biggest coffee I can get, I want as much caffeine, right? That's why you get in a coffee. I don't comprehend people that drink decaf either, buy these large decaf coffees. What is wrong with you? Save your money, drink some water. What do you, just like the taste of bean water? It's weird. Anyways, I drive by this McDonald's sign, and it said, I mean, it's the biggest ploy, it's the biggest gimmick, it's the biggest capitalism gotcha in the world. Because unless you're buying a large coffee for that $1, which, by the way, they're making that coffee for what, like pennies on the dollar. So that's a huge markup, a huge profit for them. But if you are getting a small or medium coffee for $1, the same price the large is, you're losing out even more. And I just don't understand, like, maybe, am I weird? Do people not see that sign and immediately think like, oh, they're ripping off everyone that buys a medium and a small? If you saw a sign that said $1 any size coffee, like all the McDonald's around me have, do you not immediately think like, oh, they're stealing the money from everyone getting a medium and a small? Like, that's all, I see that sign, I'm like, oh man, they're just calling the people who drink a small coffee a moron. They're calling everybody who gets a medium or a small a maroon. Because why would you pay $1 for a small coffee if you get the large for $1 as well? It doesn't even matter if you're not going to drink it all, right? Because if you're getting a small coffee, you're going to drink some coffee. So just get the large and then pour it out. At least get your money's worth and give it to a homeless person. Or, you know, there are uncaffeinated kids in third world countries, and they would love to drink that caffeine. Jesus, so selfish, you Americans. Remember when people say that? They're starving kids around the world. You know, finish your food. It's like, well, this starving for caffeine kids around the world. You know, what is going on here? Come on, just drive. Just drive. What are you, 15 or 80? I don't think people over 55 should be able to drive. Okay. Some dude almost backed into me the other day, not even looking behind him. And when I rolled down, I honked the horn at him. When I rolled down the window, I was like, bro, that's dangerous. He wouldn't look at me. He was probably like 65 years old. And when I looked at his license plate, it said midlife, like midlife crisis. And I was like, it's a bad midlife. And he was driving a Mazda Miata, if anybody remembers those. Yeah, that's a midlife crisis car, right? It's like the poor man's midlife crisis. That's a knockoff version of the midlife crisis. If you're buying a 1998 Mazda Miata, one of my history teachers had one of those. If you just joined in, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Welcome to the struggle, the live stream. I go live every weekday. So now let's talk about these inflation numbers. So they said inflation over the past year, over a 12-month period, is up 3.5%, right? 3.5%. I'm calling it suspect. It's a lie. Because they say energy is up 1.1% this month after jumping. The inflation on the cost of energy was up 2.3% in February. So if this month it went up 1.1% and last month it went up 2.3%, we're not even talking about a full year. That is 3.4%, okay? And they're trying to claim that the inflation over the past 12 months is 3.5%. Just in the past 2 months, energy has gone up 3.4%. Then this is where it really aggravates me. They talk about the cost of housing inflation. They say housing is up 0.4% just this month. And over the past 12 months, remember, they're claiming the consumer price index says inflation has gone up 3.5% over the past year. That's their number. We just went over energy. Energy in the past 2 months is up 3.4%. Just in 2 months, it's equated to the past year's inflation. But now, housing, shelter, up 4.4 this month. And over the past year, they say it's up 5.7%. If housing is up 5.7%, I hate to break it to you, there is no way inflation is at 3.5%. And then they talk about egg prices. Egg prices are up 4.6%. So again, we have three numbers, one that's equal to the 12-month inflation number, 3.5%. Energy's up 3.4% in 2 months. Housing's up 5.7% over 12 months. Egg prices are up 4.6% over 12 months. Does any of this math seem like it could average out to 3.5? If you have a bunch of numbers over 3.5, I hate to break it to you, your average isn't going to be 3.5. And then the most frustrating one of them all. It says hourly wages. If you work and are paid hourly, those wages are up 0.6%, which I also say you suspect, because the minimum wage hasn't gone up, and companies are notoriously not handing out raises. When I got my raise this year, guess how much it was? I'm an hourly wage worker. It was 17 cents. Ta-da! 17 cents. Thanks. Now I can afford that rise in housing cost of 5.7%. Thanks, billion-dollar corporation. While you build yachts that need bridges, historic bridges, to be demolished, we're just trying to fucking live. Oh. So I just say, don't ever trust these numbers. It's just like the poverty line. That's an obscure number. Just like the federal minimum wage. They haven't raised that. I mean, do not trust whether it's the government or media outlets, because let's be honest here. The government and the media outlets all make money from the stock market. And if they report the true numbers, 5.7% for housing, 4.6% for eggs, energy going up 3.4% just in the past 2 months, if they projected those real numbers, and I think they might even be higher, because I'm telling you, I deal with all those costs, and they're definitely much higher than these small percentages. But if they reported on those genuinely, like even in the article, which I link below, they say stocks took a gentle tumble. The stocks took a little tumble when we reported that inflation's up 3.5%. Lie. It's way higher than that. But if they report on the true numbers, the stocks would crash, because they would understand that our economy is broken. There's a housing crisis, food insecurity epidemic, medical costs, medical debt, student debt, all these horrible things. The cost of cars is obscene. I was reading an article about these obscene costs of cars and how just they're taking us 6 ways from Sunday. And when you think the minimum wage hasn't gone up since 2009, or that they're saying hourly wages have gone up 0.6%. Remember, I work for a billion-dollar company. My raise was 17 cents. 17 cents. Not even enough to notice I got a raise. I literally looked it up. I'm no economy wonk, Ample Thought is saying. He's not an economy wonk, but Americans complain no matter what is happening. If inflation is up and gasoline is cheap, few talk. If gas is high, inflation low, stock market is booming, they whine. I'm not about what anyone complains about. I'm about what's happening on the ground. That's what I'm about. And as somebody who's in the housing market, I'm telling you, it's absurd. Somebody who has tried to buy a car, it's absurd. As my brother's tried to buy a house, it's absurd. As someone who gets a hourly paycheck and then has to go decide what food I'm going to afford and also try to put gas in my car, it's absurd. And what I'm saying is, like, I notice these things in real time. I remember how much a bag of chips was, and then I like when people say I'm old enough to remember when chips were $2. Yeah, no joke. I know all that. Why? Because I got a budget when I go buy food, and now I just can't buy that food anymore. Ample thought. Stocks and bonds and savings don't save anyone making less than $300,000 a year. It's a dream because we're sleeping on the job. Well, listen. One article I read that said the great thing about right now is banks are giving you a higher rate on your savings account than ever before. And I'm like, yeah, unless you're wealthy and don't need that high, like the only people who have savings, and this is like nationally reported on, are wealthy people. And they do not need high interest returns on their savings. It's the broke folks who can't afford to put anything into savings. Hashtag me too. I don't know what that's referring to. Show us on the doll where the economy touched you. Show us on the doll where the Fed and their inflation numbers hurt you. Everywhere. In my mind. My soul is eroding. Yeah, so go check out this I believe it's a CNBC article. It just pissed me off because when I read about it, I'm like, it just seems so out of touch. And then, of course, when they mentioned, like, ooh, stocks took a little tumble when we said it was 3.5%. Thank God we didn't say it was 12%, like it really probably is. And I just don't understand how they can list all these numbers, all these percentages of things that are way higher than the 3.5%, right? 5.7%, 3.4%. 4.6%, and then they somehow average it to a lower number than every other number. I'm like, are these people maroons? Do they not know how to average things? Even I know how to average stuff. I mean, that was basic math. Hashtag I also hate the housing market. Yeah, me too. Well, as somebody who we lost our housing, so it's the tragedy my family's been dealing with. And that's why I say, if you're the praying type, please pray for this job opportunity that I get it. Ask Jesus to resurrect my radio career just like he resurrected himself on Easter. I believe he can do it. Let his will be my way. Come on, Lord. I believe. I believe I can get a job. Thando jokes. Ample thought. What do you do if you don't mind me asking? It's a good question. Thando jokes. I think that's a badass name. I feel like that should be a Jedi name. Thando Jokes. Unless it's Thando Jocks. And if I'm mispronouncing it, very sorry. But that sounds like a mother effing badass Jedi name. And I like it. I like it a lot. So yeah. If you could pray for me, it'd mean a lot. I need some kind of opportunity. I've been out of work for 7 years, out of my career for 7 years. So it's been very difficult. And with this housing market where we're trying to, that's the other thing. So many people are looking for housing and all the housing is skyrocketed up. Even these brokers who you have to go through in Massachusetts to get a motherfucking place, which is obscene because they charge a fee. Like it's not expensive enough. Even these people in these houses have been like, I never seen pricing like this. I never seen they were like, this is absurd. For this house, this much? No way. And I was like, oh, thanks. I'm glad you're saying that. Like I can't tell. Ample thought. He's a consultant, writer, and general maroon. My mom would be proud of you, Ample thought. She loved calling people maroons. And my mom would go, what are you, thick in the head? And maybe she'd give you a tap in the back of the head to find out. God bless my mom. Oh, she'd be so disappointed in me now. Unable to take care of my kids. And go ahead, pile on. Be like, why don't you get a real job? I love people who are like, why don't you get a second job? Why don't you get a real job? Why are you working a teenager's job? I'm like, does the Starbucks buy you clothes during school hours, you maroon? What are you, thick in the head? These aren't teenagers' jobs. Our economy crashed. Everything's an investment now. Radio became an investment opportunity, and they decimated the industry. Wait until the AI bots come for your job, all those people who are really mean. Then you'll start believing in universal basic income. My thing is, I've had compassion since once my dad passed and my mom passed, I realized real quick, like, wow, some people, their situation is almost out of their control. When you're a kid and you lose everything, the rug's pulled out from under you, you gain an empathy and a compassion only life experience can bring you. So for 20-something years now, I've always fought for those who have fallen victim in between the cracks of our society to be able to, just be able to stand on their own 2 feet. And that whole rugged individualism and pull yourself up by your bootstraps is bullshit. And most of these wealthy people will never tell you how wealthy they are. They never tell you how they got to live at their parents' house. Or all these people that I see that are like, actually, I got a lot of good people, so I don't want to seem like I'm complaining. There are a lot of compassionate people. Oh, cool, that lady's got totally blue hair. I really like her hair. That's so cool. There are a few, though, and a lot of them like to talk. But I noticed, like, a lot of them, will either say, like, don't move out of your... One guy on Twitter said, don't move out of your parents' house until you can buy a home. And I said, what about people who don't have parents? And he was like, who doesn't have parents? And I just ended the conversation. I didn't want to be like, well, me. I haven't had parents for 20 years. Like, my brothers were teens and they didn't have parents. Like, there's a lot of people that just can't live at home. You gotta figure it out. Ample Thought. He's also a guitarist, sound film editor. He does immigration advocacy work. What doesn't he do, Thando Jokes? Are you a Jedi? What do you do, Thando? Are you a Jedi? Because I need to know. I need to know. I feel like you're wearing a Jedi robe right now going, these are not the jobs you were looking for. These are not the jobs you were looking for. Is that a Jedi who did that? I'm pretty sure. Why isn't Mark Wahlberg in Star Wars? Hey, he's always out of breath. That's a bad Mark Wahlberg. I gotta hear him to do him. But I think Mark Wahlberg should be the guy that comes out of C-3PO. Is he the golden robot? I think, like, at some point C-3PO should take his mask off and it's Mark Wahlberg inside. It's like, I've been in here the whole time. You want to fight? Who else should be in Star Wars? Leonardo DiCaprio should be in Star Wars. But he should gain a lot of weight. And he should work for Jabba the Hutt. I'm going to write my own Star Wars movie. Will Ferrell, he could be like a droid dealer. He would be a great droid dealer. Just like in Guardians of the Galaxy when, what's his name? The guy I do not like, Jeff Goldblum, who's lazy. He's always just himself, and he's like so precocious, and people love him. Jeff Goldblum, I figure you're watching this. You definitely subscribe. You're an asshat. Like, get a gimmick. Don't just be precocious, okay? Like, get something. Like, play your classic piano or your jazz piano. Like, make that a thing. But just you being like this, like, charming, precocious guy, like, maybe if you were 6, okay? And listen, I mean this with, like, the best intent in my heart. But just, like, don't keep being that guy. Like, that sucks. It's boring. Thando Jokes. Geez. So how much do you make a month on average? Probably makes like $1 million. I would assume. Thando, you're not answering me. Are you a Jedi? Tell me, damn it. What time is it? Oh my God. I gotta go soon. Don't share such details. Oh, Ample Thought, bad answer. You always tell people how much you make. It's federally protected by law, federal protection, that you can share exactly what you make. I always tell people, and I tell everybody to share that. You know why? Because that's what corporations, that's what the bosses don't want you to do. They don't want you to know who's getting paid what, because some people have been there for 10 years and don't realize they're hiring people at your rate. And you've been there for you have longevity, and they're not giving you raises. In fact, that happened with somebody very close to me who works in the medical field that I kept saying, talk about your wages. And they did. And they all found out that the people who had tenure, that were there for a long time, that were veterans in the medical field, were making just as much as the new hires, and they were giving the new hires just as much, and they were like, yo, this is messed up. But you do that because, you know, it's old people and older generations that go, it's taboo, you don't want to share that. You always want to share that. You always want to share that. And at Starbucks, after they take 80% of my paycheck for my healthcare and for taxes, and I make $5 an hour. The minimum wage in Massachusetts is $15 an hour. So I make $5 an hour after how much they take out of my paycheck. And I always tell people, if a company pays minimum wage, which all these stores do, Walmart, Dunkin' Donuts, Walgreens, CVS, Starbucks, all these corporations, they basically price fixed the labor market. Because when people say, oh, if you don't like it, get another job, you can't. They've price fixed it. Just like they price fixed the cost of goods, they price fixed the cost of labor. And when they say like, oh, get a second job, I always tell people, well, you can't punch into 2 jobs at once, so I would just be working longer hours. And remember, this is $1 billion company, $1 billion company. And I'm making $5 an hour. And I tell people that if a company pays minimum wage, it means they don't care about you. And if they could pay less, they would. It's just the state stepped in and said, you can't pay them any less than this. And these companies go, all right, we can't pay them $2 an hour. And the proof in that is that if you're a server, you make a whole different rate. I forget what it is. It was like $2 here in Massachusetts. I think they bumped it up to $6. It's horrific. So, Thando, are you a Jedi? What do you, so you know what, Thando? I think your answer is I think your non-answer is the answer. Because a Jedi never reveals he's a Jedi. So, Thando Jocks, a Jedi's name. You don't have to say what you do. I know. You are a Jedi. You are a Jedi. Is that what he does? He does like that? These are not the droids you're looking for, Thando Jocks. He's a Jedi. For people who maybe don't have the chat up, Thando is clearly not a Jedi. Yes, he is. He's 100%. That's a Jedi name. Thando Jocks or Thando Jokes. That is like, who created Star Wars? Lucas something? George Lucas? Spielberg did like the Jones, Indiana Jones, and E.T., Amblin movies. So George Lucas, that's a George Lucas joint right there. That name, Thando Jokes, is a George Lucas name. George Lucas joint. The Force is weak with this one. No way, man. And plus, he's coming right at it. He's like, yo, how much do you make? What do you do? I gotta say, I really respect the game. I love that. I love people who are very direct, who have no fear in like just asking things, especially things that have been branded taboo, because they shouldn't be taboo. So Thando, yo, and that's how I know he's a Jedi. Like, your secret's safe for me, don't worry. I know you're a Jedi, bro. What do you got, a space speeder bike? What are they called? What are Jedis? Can Jedis fly? Can they fly? Or can they just jump real? They can't fly, can they? Is that why they have capes? I just like the Jedi getup. It's like kind of hobo chic, you know? Like a white t-shirt, some black pants with the cowboy belt for your saber, and then you wear like the hobo poncho. Or the, what is that? The rain poncho? You know the rain ponchos? What a brilliant gig. I want to be a Jedi. Thando, are you recruiting for a Padawan? Is that what they call him? Padawan? God dang it, Thando. Not answering me. Appreciate the Jedi game. Shit, I'm gonna break this Jedi down. You're gonna hire me. You will hire me, Thando. You will make me a Padawan. You will. Is it working? Stop screwing up Star Wars lore. I don't watch those movies. My son and my wife and her family like them. I just know like they got lightsabers and Darth Vader. That's what my son calls him, Darth Vader, which I love. I respect the game. I gotta go get a lottery ticket. I know that's a regressive tax. There was a whole article on it. It's like, shut up. They were like, you don't see rich people playing the lottery at scratch tickets. Yeah, because they're hoarding all the wealth and they're paying us nothing. We're forced into this. Plus $2 for a chance, you know. Who knows? Even if I hit the lottery, I still be coming live 5 days a week. That's why I say hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, because I can just give you my word that I'm live 5 days a week. I can't give you my word on when during the day it will happen. Sometimes twice a day, sometimes on the weekend. But please hit that subscribe button. And for everybody who has subscribed, who have joined the family in solidarity, thank you so much. For real, it's been a very difficult month. I'm keeping optimistic. Jesus is going to walk me through this. God's will, not my way. But please let God's will be this way. If you could pray for this job opportunity, it would be amazing. I need those good vibes, those prayers. But seeing all these new subscribers really been a silver lining in these cloudy days. So I thank you. Respect. Salute to you. All right. Peace out, Ample Thought. Gotta go. We'll be in touch. And Thando, I don't know where you are, but go use that force. Go get that force on. Go stop some stormtroopers. Stormtroopers got to be the absolute worst shooters in the planet. And you figure if they wear plastic, but people shoot laser beams, why don't they melt? Why do you always see them just like, I don't know, worst army ever, right? Out of all the armies. Well, no. It goes, and that's the other thing I don't get. The stormtroopers, like everybody likes to dress up as a stormtrooper. Why? You like to say like I have horrible aim and I'm part of the worst army ever? But let's be honest, the worst army ever is the Confederate Army. Bunch of losers. Talking about not being able to let it go. Losers. And then the second worst army is Darth Vader's stormtroopers. Those are my ranking of top 2 worst armies ever. Thank you for joining the live stream. This is kind of the content you get. So hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. And you can join the chat like Thando Jokes, who is a Jedi. I have a Jedi subscriber. I hope you subscribe, Thando. You will subscribe to the channel. You will subscribe to the channel. You have subscribed to the channel. These are the subscribers you're looking for. I don't know. And Ample Thought. So, shout out. Salute to you. Thank you so much. May your day be filled with blessings. Peace.